I was born 17 years ago. For the past 6 months, I've been in my basement playing Skyrim. But for all those hours, I've never understood what the hell has been going on. I scoured the internet, searching for wikis, to find even the most obscure events in the Elder Scrolls. Behold, sunlight now enters my room. These are the early hours of the morning, and my few moments of free time. Fueled by obscene amounts of caffeine, I search for the events of the Elder Scrolls lore.
Hey, I'm TheLoopyAlchemist, and on this episode of the Elder Scrolls lore, we are going to be going on an adventure. And by that, I of course mean staring at a map. Okay, so as you've probably guessed from the title, this is a tour of the provinces. And this is the single topic I always get the most requests for. Granted, it hasn't been for all the provinces as a whole, it's been for individual ones like Elsweyr or Marsh. And I'm really reluctant to do that, just because with these episodes, I'd way rather tell a cohesive narrative rather than just regurgitating stuff from the wiki. But I can't resist peer pressure, so I just drank a 2-liter bottle of Hippocrack. Get ready, cause we are going on a tour of the entire empire. And yeah, I guess that isn't really too accurate anymore because quite a few of the provinces have split away, but whatever, it's all of Tamriel, and beyond that, just any province that's been part of the Empire, and you'll see where I'm going with that later on. So I'll just give the quick rundown of each province, so stuff like the race living there, the geography, and all that good stuff. So we are of course going to be starting in Cyrodiil. Its capital is the Imperial City. The native population are the Imperials. It was founded in 4th Era 243. The head of state is the Emperor/Empress. The official language is Tamrielic or Cyrodiilic, and the currency is the Septum. So as far as geography goes, Cyrodiil is pretty varied, sort of your really generic fantasy place. So you've got plains and forests and trees and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees, and no one's going to get this reference, so I'm just gonna stop right now. And we've got mountains as well. Pretty much wherever you're on a border, you're going to see the geography switch a bit. For example, we're going to see it get colder and more mountainish, closer to Skyrim, and we are going to see it get swampier, closer to Marsh. So now we will be moving up to Skyrim. It is the home of the Nords. Its capital was Winterhold until 4th Era 122, and it is Solitude as of 4th Era 201. It was founded in the late Morethic era, and the head of state is the king. So, geography, I'm assuming if you're watching an Elder Scrolls lore episode, you have probably played Skyrim. So, we do have tundra, frozen wasteland towards sort of the farther north around Windhelm. We've got plenty of forests, and kind of a plain-like region in the Whiterun Hold, but yeah, tons of mountains, all that good stuff. So, now we'll actually be moving over to the Island of Solstheim. Now this guy is kind of a wild card. Technically, it's always belonged to Skyrim, but has had an immense degree of autonomy. Now, this was the case right up until the eruption of the Red Mountain, where the High King of Skyrim gave it to Morrowind, so all the refugees from the eruption of the Red Mountain would go up there, or at least some of them, you get the idea. So technically it's now part of Morrowind, and more specifically, under the control of host Redoran. But besides the village of Ravenrock, it still has an immense degree of autonomy, and it's kind of hard to consider it part of a province proper, even though technically it is. So now we're going to be moving down south to Morrowind. But, oh yeah, by the way, the geography in Solstheim, it's varied a bit since the eruption of the Red Mountain, but it's very close to Skyrim with mountains and frozen goodness, and we have some Ashlands as well. I don't know what the technical term is, volcanic wasteland, after the eruption of the Red Mountain. So now it's very close to Morrowind as well. So, as you can see with the map of Morrowind, the two main things we're going to be talking about is that big island, Vanderfall, and the lower half. So, the capital of Morrowind was Mournhold until 4th Era 5, and it's Blacklight as of 4th Era 201. The native population is the Dunmer or Dark Elves. It was founded in 1st Era 700. The head of state is the Tribunal, the official language is Dunmerus, and the currency is the Septum. Well, I've been pretty forgetful, so we're going to backtrack back to Cyrodiil right now. It is, of course, part of the Empire, as of 4th Era 201, which is a date I've been mentioning a lot. That's the time when Skyrim takes place, so just to give you some chronological idea, Skyrim is, of course, divided in between the Stormcloak Nationalists and the Imperial Loyalists. Civil War, so it's kind of part of the Empire, part independent, and they're going to fight it out to see how that ends up working out. Now, Morrowind, it's kind of a wild card. Well, I haven't found anything about them ever officially seceding. It's pretty clear that they're independent, and the Empire's authority anywhere at this point is paper thin at best, so I'm just gonna say Morrowind is independent from the Empire. But that eruption of the Red Mountain has left it incredibly weakened. Vanderfall is basically one huge ash wasteland at this point, like even more so than before, and on mainland Morrowind, it's not exactly a picnic either, because the Argonians invaded a few years back and really pounded the crap out of the Dunmer, partially for just expansion purposes and revenge for the fact that the Argonians had been enslaved there for so many years. So that brings us down to the province of Blackmarsh. The native race is the Argonians. It was conquered in 1st Era 2837. The head of state is the Anzeal, the official language is Yell, and the currency is the Septum. Blackmarsh seceded from the Empire shortly after the Oblivion Crisis, and out of all the provinces, this is really one to watch, because the Argonians at this point are immensely powerful, and is basically the only place in Tamriel that wasn't too adversely impacted from the Great War. It's also worth noting that Blackmarsh was the only province during the Oblivion Crisis to actually take the fight back into Oblivion and really pound the living crap out of the Daedra. As you've probably guessed from the title Blackmarsh, it's very marshy there, very swampy, and the roads are not too good. So now we are moving over to the province of Elsweyr, or now referred to as the Elsweyr Confederacy. The capital is Torval, The native population is the Khajiit. It was founded in Common Era 309. The head of state is the Main, and the official language is the Ta'igra. The currency is the Septum. As far as the geography goes, the northern part of Elsweyr is Badlands, deserty stuff, and the southern part is lush, tropical, and many forests. The cities you see on the map are the only cities there are. There's just a few of them, and most settlements are small villages. Now, Elsweyr, as of 4th Era 201, is a client state of the Second Eldmeri Dominion. So while they technically have a bit of independence, it's just Valenwood puppets, and they can be considered part of the Eldmeri Dominion. So now we are moving over to Valenwood. Its capital is Valenesti. The native population is the Bosmer or Wood Elves, and it was founded in 4th Era 0. The official head of state is the Thalmor, the language is Bosmerus, and the currency is the Septum. It too is part of the Second Eldmeri Dominion. As far as the geography goes, surprise surprise, it is very forested. A pocket guide to the Empire describes it as a sea of endless green, a maze of foliage, with half-hidden cities growing like blooms from a flower. Home of the Bosmer is Tamriel's garden, or something along those lines. And now we will be heading over to the Summerset Isles. Its capital is Alinor. The native population is the Altmer, or High Elves. It was founded in the mid-Morethic era, not area. The head of state is the Thalmor. Official language is Tamrielic, and the currency is the Septum. Now this is the homeland of the Second Eldmeri Dominion, so it's kind of like the new Cyrodiil, actually. Well, just in the sense that it's kind of the seat, I guess, of an empire. Now, as far as the geography goes, we do not know a lot about this place. We do know it's got a bunch of ruins, and it was probably originally occupied by the Slode, which are some really, really ugly slug things. Basically, think Jabba the Hutt without his makeup. It's not pretty, so don't Google that. Well, okay if you want to, like, it's not scarring or anything. But, again, it also has many ruins that predate the High Elves by several hundred years. And yeah, besides that, we don't really know that much. So now we will be moving over to Hammerfell, which is the home of the Redguards. The capital was Hagaeth until until 3rd Era 417, and Sentinel as of 3rd Era 417. It was founded sometime in the 1st Era. By the way, its rise coincides, at least sort of, with the fall of Yokuda, the home continent of the Redguards, but that is a whole nother video in itself. The official language is Tamrielic, and the currency is the Septum. Now, as far as the geography goes, Hammerfell is a very barren, rocky place. There is the vast Akavir desert, taking up most of it, and it's got some nice fertile grasslands only around the coasts, and most of the major population centers are on the coastlines, but we still do have like a few oasis locations throughout the whole province. And now we'll be going up to Hammerfell, which completes our tour of the provinces, well, after this. So High Rock, the native population is Bretons and Orcs, because High Rock, and I think part of Hammerfell, but I'm not entirely sure, actually encompasses the ancient kingdom of Orisnium. It's like the city-state of the Orcs, but it's not found on like any modern map as well. When it was founded is unknown. the official language is Tamrielic, and the currency is the Septum. Since it's so close to Skyrim, the geography is very close as well, so sort of like in the Skyrim Hammerfell border, it's mountainous, and we probably can expect the same weather patterns, and a lot nicer and more temperate on the coasts. Kind of obviously, but anyways, that concludes a tour of the provinces on Tamriel. But guess what? We are not ready yet. My obsession with Akavir is as powerful as ever. So, I guess this is kinda cheating because it isn't around anymore, but the Imperial Province of Akavir was a short-lived province founded in 3rd Era 288 during Emperor Uriel Septim's Vth invasion of the Tzeki Akaviri territory. So we have Septemia, a Tzeki port town. It was the first colony in the province, and we have Ionith, the more inwards one, as the invasion's headquarters. So, I'm just gonna read the brief description right off the wiki right now. The province encompassed the lower stage of a large river, along which both settlements were located. The surrounding land consisted of rich, well-watered fields. The 4 legions present during the invasion constructed a road between Septemia and Ionith. And get ready, everyone, because that's all we had. As far as the province goes, we get a bit more detail on mysterious Akavir, but besides that, there really isn't anything. Also, this is actually a zoomed-in picture of Akavir you're seeing right now, and thanks to the magic of Microsoft Paint, and based off of that, like, 3-sentence description, I kind of made what I think the boundaries are. Heck, I've even put it on the picture, but I'm not sure, it's just my best guess. The province was of course abandoned in 3rd Era 289 due to extreme weather conditions and Tzeki attacks. I love how, like, mildly they put that. Oh yes, weather, Tzeki attacks. They killed the Emperor and wiped out the best army, like basically the best one Tamriel has ever assembled. And the area was retaken by the native Akaviri races, the Tzeki in particular, and it has never been revisited since. So on that uplifting note, I'm the Loopy Alchemist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.